So I do have parents who started asking me like, what is Tinta's approach on this? With all these issues that has been arising, the whole nation is talking about it, concerned about it. I mean, of course, this is something that we're all aware. We are part of the ecosystem. We do have an opinion. We do have our concerns. We do have our what we plan to. How do we ensure that our school, Sekolah Tinta, is a safe place, and assuring parents, teachers, and students that we are a safe place. We need to relook again in terms of our systems, of policies, discipline macam mana, whether, how do we make sure that we monitor our students closely? How do we make sure that this kind of concerns does not seep through into the school? Concern meaning budak-budak ni tak ada, we don't face all this in our schools. And as a school, of course, we look first into the teachers. We must understand what is happening around us, what are the challenges the students are having. We must know our students first lah, to ensure that this does not happen. But at the end, Puan Teacher Jana, I rasa to a certain extent, it's not really in our control.
Yes, correct. It takes a village to raise a child. I think everybody knows these words, right? But look at the village that we have now. Is it the village, the kind of village that can raise a child? I think that's the issue. But people often, when there's any issues, any case, the blame is always upon something that is tangible. Oh, the school, or the teachers, or something, something that they can quickly point to, rather than pointing to themselves. As society, even myself as a society, part of a society, part of that village. I think it can happen anywhere. The cases that we hear now, na'uzubillah, is something that's not new actually, but something more prevalent now, more and more prevalent now. It's happening very unexpectedly, but at the same time, we know that this is something that can happen to anyone, rather than just blaming. I'm lost for words, what would be the solution? Because I believe everyone's trying their best. Every school, every parents would think that they try their best. But are we collectively, as a society, as the village, do our best? Sometimes kita rasa kita as a parent, kita mother, kita buat dah baik. Maybe as a school, as a teacher, kita rasa kita dah buat terbaik. Tapi as a society, collectively, or katalah, this township itself lah, this neighborhood lah, are we doing collectively? Are we bringing that sense of community to the children? Neighbours pun tak kenal sesama neighbours, kan? Reminding myself too, like tak ada kenal betul-betul lah, like really know, really concern, really understand as a community, other than perhaps maybe kenal masa pergi masjid, like maybe pergi surau nearby maybe. But other than that, do we actually take care of each other's children? Like how, in Japan, kita asyik cerita Japan je kan? Kita pergi Japan ni. Japan, right? The children can just go. The preschool children, small children, they can just walk to school. They can just walk. And the next row of neighbor will look at it. You can, when you go to Japan, you will see that. Yes. When I went to Japan, I purposely found a homestay sebelah sekolah tau. And I can see how they walk. Yeah. I can give you the address. From one row to another, just pass. So the children just walk by themselves. In fact, they can just go on the train by themselves. Tapi yang train tu I tak nampak lah. Yang I nampak betul-betul how actually the children actually just pass, from one neighbor to another. So I think when we talk about character building, right, like in Japan, dia punya character building tu bukan kat sekolah punya syllabus, belajar sapu, lap. It is actually that village. It's that village. I think that is the missing part I mean, we don't really live with our families like those days. Ada pak long, pak cik, apa semua lah, nenek ke apa semua all around to look at each other, to pergi rumah sini makan, lepas tu pergi masuk sana. You know, macam kampung lah, you know. I mean, we don't have that anymore. But as a society, maybe we should try to do something. And sometimes when we say we tu, kita tengah tunggu siapa lah nak mulakan dulu kan. Neighbor, kita tengok orang je macam kita salahkan orang kan. Maybe instead of looking left and right, who should start this? Maybe we ourselves. I mean, I'm talking about myself here. Like maybe I should start, like as a neighbor should start. Maybe we can start with, you know, instead of macam-macam orang kata, takut nanti orang kata menyebut pula kan, asyik tanya how are you. Kadang-kadang ada orang fikiran macam tu kan. So maybe we can start off with like giving something small, bawa balik buah tangan ke apa kan, something small, and start to have that cordial relationship, and then start maybe get the children to play. I think tak nampak dah kot the children nowadays main
Play
apa
together.
tu, play together, right?
You don't, now you go playground, it's not as busy as dulu because
Main-main di depan rumah, main apa tu panggil teng-teng.
Teng-teng, galah panjang,
kan.
all that.
Di petang-petang tak ada lagi dah tu kan. Yeah. And if you go to restaurants, cafe ke, nampak the children
Semua
are
with
with
handphone.
yeah, looking at the
Tablets,
screen.
yes.
So all those, you know, small invisible glue lah, that glue us together tu macam dah hilang dah.
When we talk about society, it's actually more on the culture. Yeah, our culture, is it something wrong with our culture? And I always believe that early education must start from home. We parents is actually their first teacher. So putting blame on teachers, putting blame on education system is actually, for me, not the right thing as a teacher. We should look at ourselves first, whether we have done enough for our children or not. Macam the recent case, macam mana the students boleh bawa pisau? Cikgu tak check ke? The first thing that netizen will say, what the teacher have done? Tak check ke bag budak tu ada pisau, ada everything?
Takkan teacher nak check semua budak punya bag kan?
Yes. So then why don't you ask that to the mother or to the parents?
ataupun tanya question like, why is he bringing that to school in the first place? Or why does he have that intention to begin with? Kan, the root of it.
So basically, for me, it goes back to the parents. It goes back to education that starts from home. Is there something wrong with the education in home, or something wrong with our culture? Another thing is definitely the social media. That one is actually, like you said, kalau dekat restaurant tu everybody is with the screens. There's no more talking to each other. Ada yang cakap, oh anak I tu introvert, tak bercakap. Is it memang introvert atau you yang memang tak nak bercakap dengan dia? Because most of the time, their time is with tablets, which is tak bercakap pun. They are just key in everything on digital world kan. So we have to go back to that. Don't just blame teachers or don't just blame our education system.
I totally agree. I feel that it's actually a reflection of society. If we look back into, of course, no school condones such behaviour. Nak cakap, why did he start, or why do they have this intention sampai diorang buat macam ni tu datang dari mana? Sebab kalau kat sekolah, ikutkan, you're learning, you're occupied, with subject learning, your activities, your co-curricular and whatnot. Jadi, I would say is the extra time that they have the outside of school, or perhaps even in school, kalau school tak pantau, that have given all this feelings and exposure that they have. I think it's really, we can't blame the school solely on the school, the teachers or the system. It's actually a society problem. All this happening is actually myself, you, and everyone as whatever position you have, whether you're a mother, whether you're a working mother, or you're a housewife, or you're a working father, you hold a certain position, whatever. I think this is everyone's problem, because, like what Puan said, to raise a child, you need a whole village, meaning everyone has a role to it. And so when we see a child has a problem, it cannot just be onto either the parent alone or the school alone. The whole society must play a role. I believe this principle where, when we raise a child, we cannot just think that, oh, I'll take care of my child, I make sure I raise my child well, but it doesn't matter how orang lain punya children is. Like whether they're okay or they're not. Or
Anak-anak I je best.
Anak I je yang bagus.
I
Sebab
don't care about others.
because we have to understand that eventually your child that you have raised well will be in a society that perhaps you felt you had no contribution to. Jadi kalau society tu tak bagus, anak you bagus macam mana pun will fall victim and prey to the society problem. So I think this is when all of us need to come forth and think, all the adults need to come forth and think, how do we address this? What do we do at home? As a family unit, as education system, what do we do? Those in power, what do we do? I think this is when everyone needs to come and discuss, how do we look into this? Sebab kalau kita belajar daripada negara-negara yang mungkin this is nothing new, this is very new to our society. But mungkin negara-negara yang negara barat yang they've gone through this, and we do see that it's the society that have basically created young students with so much issues and problems. Budak-budak sekarang dengan, we know of children who seek ChatGPT untuk mendapat solution to their problem. Like if I have we've asked before, macam, why do you do this to your friend? Oh, ChatGPT, I shared with ChatGPT my problem, and this is suggestion on how I should deal with these issues. And to me, this is for us to realize, macam, clearly, us adults, we're very absent in their lives.
Or not trusted.
Oh, yeah.
But talking about trust, right? It's not just about people around you. Society ni kan dia ada, it's built from the leadership. It's built from the leadership, like from the top leadership, the ministers, and then to all the government, and then to the schools, or from the government to the cities and townships and all that. Are we showing good examples to be trusted? Just to hook from the word trust. Are our leadership showing good examples to the children, to the students? Sebab kita banyak blame bila something happen, we just blame things around the students. But what about above it? Kalau kita tengoklah dalam parlimen, how they argue, how they argue. Macam kita tengok, dekat sekolah pun budak-budak tak argue macam ni, right? They don't use harsh words or like character assassination. Other people do that character assassin. They don't. I mean, but if they do, Mr. Teacher datang or will advise. But in a meeting, in a school meeting, like children, we don't really see that. But they see this. Adults cannot be trusted. And maybe to the leaders out there, look, the children are looking at you. Yes. Rather than you blame it on the children are looking at you. And this falls to us jugalah, as schools, as teachers, leaders pun. We have to remember the children are looking at us. Yes. How do we handle matters? Kalau ibu bapa misalnya marah-marah, tak puas hati dengan cikgu kan, marah-marah. Do you think the children are not looking at you? They're looking at you. Or kalau teachers misalnya marah, tak puas hati something, don't you think the children are looking at you, how you express yourself? It's a reminder for me. Yes. I'm saying this is a reminder for me too. Yeah, are we showing that good example? Yeah, this sometimes are dulu-dulu kita ada satu campaign, kepimpinan melalui teladan.
Yes,
Ya,
that is a
kan?
very good campaign actually.
Ya, and then lama-lama dah jadi macam-macam lah kita, as we change leadership, we have new slogans. But we hope that those are not just slogans lah. As we change leadership, we have new slogans coming in, and then slogan yang lama tu lupa, kan? It should be uphold, continue to be uphold, I think, yeah.